Hello, shalom, welcome, welcome everybody, welcome local students here, Stern College, YU, and welcome all the guests we have from New York City, from Israel. I saw some people from Israel. Thank you all for coming, and thank you for hosting me here this year at YU, Stern College. My name is Sivan Rahav Meir, for those who don't know me. Basically, I'm a journalist in Israel. That's what I do. For years, I covered the Supreme Court, the Knesset, the Parliament. You know, it's very interesting there. And 3 years ago, we established a shiur, a weekly lecture in Jerusalem. A small group of volunteers, they started it, and they told me, why do you talk, about politicians all day, about lawyers, judges? Try to talk about the Parashat, the weekly portion we read in the Torah every week. Maybe it will be interesting. Maybe. Baruch Hashem, 3 years later, Baruch Hashem, we're here. We're bringing this local shiur that grew during the years. We're bringing it here to the States, to New York City. I'm here this year with my husband, Yedidia, and our 5 kids, Baruch Hashem. We're here as shlichim of the World Mizrahi Movement, and I will also teach here. But I didn't only come to teach, I came to learn from you as jury. I think it's very important, especially today. We have a mutual pulse. It's called the Torah. And there's Torah Eretz Israel, but I also want to learn from you. I think we the tzabars, the tzabarim, we think we're perfect sometimes, we're sometimes too snobs. I think we have a lot to learn from what you do here in the States, in your communities, in the field of chinuch, of education. So thank you all, first of all, for the warm hospitality. And the purpose of this shiur is very, very simple. To make a basic acquaintance with the Parsha and with ourselves, to learn. And you are more than welcome to react, to write in Jerusalem. And these were the best part of the shiur, not the things I said, the things people wrote, and I quoted it. You can also, of course, give me names for dedications. This week's shiur is dedicated to the blessed memory of Rina Schnerb, Rina Bat Harav Eitan, a 17 years old girl that was brutally murdered in a terror attack in Israel a few days ago. The shiur is also dedicated to the blessed memory of a dear woman, Tali Bat Yardena, Tali Ohali, from the city of Bet Shemesh. And the shiur is dedicated to the full and speedy recovery of Aharon ben Dina and Nir Rafael ben Rachel Bracha, a sweet kid from Jerusalem who is here in Manhattan for medical treatment. And also, we do it a lot in Jerusalem. It's the first time here in New York. Today is Uriah Kotchag's birthday. She's watching us now. So mazal tov, Uriah, from all of your friends. And now let's begin. We usually read this week's Parsha, Re'eh, usually before Rosh Chodesh Elul, before the new month of Elul. And this is the case this year. Rosh Chodesh Elul will fall on Shabbat, this Saturday and Sunday. And I think maybe it was designed this way, that the last few parashot, they had little mitzvah. I don't know if you've mentioned it. My kids asked me in Israel, Ima, ha'im yesh parasha b'chofesh hagadol? Mommy, is there still a parsha when, it's July, it's August, we're on vacation? It still continues? I mean, is it still going on, this thing, or is it just while we're at school? So yes, there is also on August, but basically, maybe during these last weeks, we were all, camping, vacations. We live in 5 towns. Listen, it's empty. In my street, all the neighbors are like, welcome, I'm in Canada. Welcome, I'm in Israel. Welcome. They're now coming back, Baruch Hashem, but they're all abroad. What's his name? Macaulay Culkin, Home Alone. So that's how I feel. But basically, now they're all coming back because school starts next week. But during the last weeks, we didn't really have a lot of mitzvot, a lot of commandments, practical things to do. We read beautiful parashot in the book. We just started the book of Dvarim. But now, this week, Aleph Elul is on Sunday. The first day of September. We all start, the beginning of everything. And the parasha, now we see the appearance of 55 different mitzvot. That's a lot of work. We have 55 different mitzvot. And if we just look at the numbers, we have 18 positive mitzvot, 37 negative ones, aseh and lo ta'aseh, and the total is, you can check my math, I think it's 55 mitzvot. That's quite a parasha. You know, if we will just try to discuss one mitzvah after the other, we will never go back home. So I decided we will not occupy ourselves with the details of, you know, all the mitzvahs, and we will instead zoom out. We will try to, you know, like zoom out for a bird's eye view, and we'll try to see what are the keywords, what are the guiding words in the parasha. I will use some Hebrew while I speak. It will also be a Hebrew shiur, okay, a little bit. So in Hebrew we say milot mafteach, or mila mancha, keyword, milat mafteach, mila mancha, guiding word. What's better, by the way, my English or your Hebrew? Because this shiur is in English, but later on we will have the Hebrew shiur for those who speak Hebrew here in New York, and for those who are watching out abroad in Israel. So, by the way, all the English I know, I am 7th generation in Israel, okay? 7th generation. My ancestors founded the city of Rishon LeZion, first Aliyah, pioneers. So all the English I know comes from the Beatles. I was a huge fan of the Beatles when I was a teenager, and it's very exciting to come here because my bat mitzvah trip, I asked my parents to take me. It's here, right? Where's Central Park? Dakota building. I was standing out there, waiting to see Yoko Ono. Maybe she will go out from the Dakota building. That's what I did when I was 12, okay? So now I come back here with the same English, teaching Torah. So that's, yeah, quite exciting. Anyway, we do have 3 keywords in our parasha. You can count and see that there is a message here. There is like a super principle that the parasha is teaching us. And these principles, they always hold true, but they are especially relevant as we enter the month of Elul. So our question today is, what are the 3 keywords in the parasha, and what can we all learn from them? The first word, the first root, verb, is bchira. Bchira in Hebrew is to choose, okay? Choice. Bet chet reish is to livchor, to choose. We now have in Israel bchirot, okay? I'm sure that's not our topic. We won't discuss it, but we have second elections now. Basically, for my kids in Jerusalem, they are going with us to vote for the 4th time in 1 year. We had elections, bchirot, for the municipality, Jerusalem, and then they had like round two, okay, twice. And now we have it's not the local bchirot, not the local elections, but the general elections in Israel, and we're also doing it twice. So yeah, the only democracy in the Middle East. So we have a lot of elections going on in our neighborhood, in our place. Anyway, bchira. Bchira, it doesn't only mean to choose a party, to livchor, to choose, you know, who do I vote for? No. Bchira means, and we see it in our parasha, it appears 17 different times. This verb again and again, livchor, bacharta, to livchor. And just look at this number. It is in the whole Bible, the whole Tanakh, we see the word bchira 170 times. So 17 times in our parsha. It means 10% out of the whole appearances, it's here. And we can definitely, of course, more than 50% of all the bchira in Sefer Dvarim. So we can definitely call it the portion of choosing, Parashat HaBchira. Which bchira are we talking? What are we talking about? I mean, who's choosing who and why? And okay, first of all, it's mentioned, the word bchira is mentioned again and again when the parsha talks about the land of Israel, about Eretz Israel. Okay, it's the land of choice. It's the chosen land. It's not only the promised land. It's the chosen land, the place that Hashem will choose again and again. And it's interesting. The Torah, of course, it refers to the land of Israel, Jerusalem, the Holy Temple, yet it never mentions like a specific, like a geographic landmark. They can say Jerusalem. No. It says the place Hashem will choose. Now that's one example. And of course, we also see bchira regarding not only to the land of Israel, but to the people of Israel, our nation. And we see it For example, כי עם קדוש אתה להשם אלוקיך, ובך בחר השם להיות לו לעם סגולה מכל העמים אשר על פני האדמה. Okay, Hashem chose you from among all other people on earth to be his treasured people. You were chosen. Okay, so Hashem is choosing Eretz Israel, is choosing Bnei Israel, and what are we supposed to do in return? To choose the land of Israel, to choose HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But this principle of Bchira appears not only when the word Bchira appears. I mean, for example, we see this principle of choosing I think in the first verse, in the first pasuk of the parasha, the first passage, the first sentence, we see the concept of Bchira here. ראה, אנוכי נותן לפניכם היום ברכה וקללה. See, look, right, in Hebrew, you say, תראה, look, I want to show you something. תראה, come, תראה. See, come and look, come and watch. תראה. I set before you today, this day, a blessing and a curse. That's how this whole speech of Moshe Rabbeinu starts, okay, by telling us you can choose, okay? And see, it's an extraordinary word. We're used to hear the word listen, hear, Shema. Here, Moshe Rabbeinu is asking us to reach a higher level of Bchira. It's not listening, it's watching, okay? It's not only hearing. We hear a lot of things. People are telling us many things. I was told, someone told me this. No. Now I want to really see it, right? If you hear something, what do you say? No, let me see. I want to see it with my own eyes. Re'eh. Moshe Rabbeinu is asking us to see. How many different things did we see just this morning? Think of it. We saw the dishes in the sink. I saw them this morning. The chalavi sink, the basari sink, we're still trying to settle down in our new house. I saw them and I said goodbye and I came here this morning. But I saw them, I saw it. I saw a lot of nonsense going on my Facebook feed. I'm sure you saw it too. Different stuff. But I saw a lot of things, a lot of pictures, a lot of things I read or just watched videos. I saw a lot of ads. I took the train here. I saw all the billboards, right, on the side. I saw all the stores on my way here from Penn Station to YU, Macy's, Gap, you can go, Starbucks. I saw it all. Beautiful sights. But there is something I did not see, despite its very, it's real. Its presence is real. I davened this morning, Shachis, okay? But I didn't see the significance of what I did, right? I hugged my little girl. I didn't see what came up out of it. I mean, I benched. I did something nice. I smiled to someone on the way here. And I didn't see the results of all these good deeds, okay? When you fulfill a divine commandment, a mitzvah, you don't see what it creates. And that's why Moshe Rabbeinu emphasizes, Re'eh, try to live in a level when you can really see that what you do is really affects the world. It really creates something in this world. Now, the Lubavitcher Rebbe also said about this pasuk that the great tzaddikim, they reach a level when they can clearly, they have the ability, okay, we can't live that way. I see the ads, that's attractive, okay, that's very nice, that's positive, that's very, nice and shiny, and I see it out there. But you can live in a level when you really see the difference between good and evil and right and wrong. I think it's really appropriate to read these words after the long vacation we all had, because we did many small, tiny little things during these months, okay, since this summer began. Think of it as a parent, standing in line, sitting in a traffic jam with the kids fighting back there, okay, packing in Israel, but you were packing for your campings and trips, finding babysitters for the kids, okay, allowing them to sleep really, really late, trying to wake them up in the morning, okay, day and night. One day my kid asked me, Mom, what meal is it? Is it breakfast? Is it lunch? Is it supper? I mean, what is it? What time is it? What day is today? What's going on? That's the same one that asked if there is a parasha during the summer. So, yeah, he's great. During this summer, and I'm sure also we have, not all of your parents, of course, but I'm talking about parents, grandpas, grandmas, nieces, nephews, sisters-in-law, brothers-in-law, aunts, uncles. They all helped. They all did something during this vacation. I even want to mention bosses. Really, I know that it's really common in Israel. Here, I know you send your kids to camps, right? You don't see them like for a month. They're in the mountains, and it's very nice. Maybe you should bring it to Israel too. But we do have camps. We take the kid with us to the office, and that's the camp. They're with us at work. Really, you see it everywhere. I just landed a few days ago, so I saw it everywhere. You can see a bus driver, and the kid is sitting next to him. You can see a parent that works in the bank. You see his kid with him. In the newsroom, where I work as a journalist, Channel 12, we bring the kids with us. No problem. I hope in the nuclear reactor in Dimona, they don't bring the kids with them to work. I don't know. But usually you see it everywhere. Because now you feel, okay, it's not so important. So I had to spend a few hours with my nephew or my grandson. Think of it. You are building now the future of your family, of our entire nation, with the small, boring, routine things we do, although we don't see it. And now if we continue, after Moshe Rabbeinu says, you have the bracha and the klala, the second pasuk really helps us to understand it in a deeper way. ראה אנוכי נותן לפניכם היום ברכה וכללה, את הברכה אשר תשמעו אל מצוות השם אלוקיכם, אשר אנוכי מצווה אתכם היום. Wait a minute. You said there's a blessing and a curse, so now please show it to me. What's the blessing? He doesn't promise us you'll go to paradise, you'll get this, you'll have this. No. Listen to let's see the translation. The blessing, that you will heed the commandments of Hashem, which I command you today. Wait a minute, what's the blessing? To listen to what I have to say? Yeah. It's very interesting because when we were working on the presentation, I also want to thank Johnny Lipzer for the Mizrahi movement for that. But if I will start to just mention all the people that helped here, okay, the Mizrahi movement sent me here, Rav Doron Peretz and Rav Reuven Taragin, YU people, so many people here worked in the New York office, Stephanie Strauss, the head of YU in Israel, they all are part of the project, and I want to thank them all. But the guy that is working on this presentation, his name is Johnny Lipzer. I sent the Hebrew text, and he's an American. I told him, you, help me out here. I have to unpack 5 kids. Help me out here. You will copy the English translation of every pasuk that I'm sending. He said, no problem. I'll take care of it. And he went somewhere, no shaming, but some really, really famous internet Bible site, and he was copying this pasuk. And it said, when he sent me the presentation, I was shocked. It said, the blessing, if you will heed the commandments. Im tishme'u. Now, so many commentators are saying, listen to this, et habracha, asher tishme'u. It doesn't say, im tishme'u, you will get another blessing. The blessing is, asher tishme'u. So I was texting Johnny, did you do it yourself? He said, no, look at the link. I took it from them. I told him, it's a huge mistake. We found another site, now we will work with them, and then he copied the right way of translating it. It's not the right way of translating it. It's the right way of understanding what Moshe Rabbeinu is saying here. Listen to this. The blessing is to listen to what I have to say. That's the good thing. Now, Rabbi Samson Raphael Hirsch, in Hebrew we call him Harashar Hirsch, Harav Shimshon Raphael Hirsch, 200 years ago in Germany. He writes, it does not say, if you shall listen. Okay, I show Johnny, listen to it. I can't show a slide with if and then explaining why it doesn't say if. It does not say, if you shall listen, but rather, you shall listen. Observing Hashem's commandment is itself the blessing, right? Doing the right thing is doing the right thing. That's the best bracha you can get. And this, I always think about Shabbos when I saw what Rabbi Samson Raphael Hirsch wrote here. I said to myself, I wish I felt that way toward, the whole commandments in the Torah. But I would say, okay, keep Shabbat, okay? Try. If you do it, I'll give you $1,000. No, I'll buy you some sweets. I'll take you to, I don't know, Fifth Avenue, whatever you want. But you will say, I don't need it. I mean, Shabbat itself, that's the gift. I do not need something else. We all know it. If we feel what Shabbat is, we do not need another prize. That's the prize. And Moshe Rabbeinu is telling us that's the whole story of our life, of the Torah. I will continue just to quote two sentences of Samson Raphael here. He says, the blessing does not come later, following obedience, but rather brings to take shape the moment obedience to the mitzvah is chosen. Chosen, again, the minute we choose. And the mitzvah is kept. The spiritual and ethical act of faithfulness to the Torah itself is itself a blessing upon our entire existence. And with every mitzvah that is performed, we bring blessing upon ourselves. Now, I want to tell you something about Bechira from my experience, and I'm sure you're all interested in what's going on, for example, in Israel. I think sometimes the media, if we're talking about current Bechira, sometimes the media creates a world where we have only two options. And I think that's the right timing, the month of Elul, to change this equation. I want to explain. I'm a religious Israeli woman. Sometimes I feel I'm limited. I have to choose. And there are only two options. Oh, you're like a conservative person. You're Orthodox. Okay. So you probably want Iran, right? That's what you want, Tehran. That's the way you want to live your life. Because you said you're like Dati. And I said, no. I don't know. I don't think that's the paradigm. Okay, so we have another option for you. Come, I don't know, Vegas, LA, Manhattan. We have another option for you. Everything's open. Everything's accessible. Liberal world, open, free world. No boundaries, no limits, no restrictions. No, I don't feel at home here too. So go back to Iran. As we said, that's what you want to really do. No. Nobody, never in these really frustrating conversations, nobody never says, wait a minute, who said there are only two options? There's at least one more option I can think of. It's called Jerusalem. It's something else. Hey, nice to meet you. There's a new option. Let's think of it. Let's develop it together. We're not so limited. Okay? We can expand the opportunities of the Bechira. We can choose new things. Okay? We don't have to limit ourselves because that's what they said on the news. One other example. I'm sure you hear about the disputes in Israel, Haredi versus Chiloni, right? Extreme Orthodox people, usually they will take the craziest person and interview him, of course. And Chiloni, they will take again, my parents are not Dati, they're Chiloni, they will never be interviewed. Why? Because they're normal, okay? My husband's family, they're Dati, they're Haredi family, Orthodox family. They will never be interviewed. Why? Because they're also quite normal. So they will take representatives of the really extreme people in both sides. They will bring a Chiloni and a Haredi, a very, very secular person and a very, very Orthodox person, and they will, I think they have a lot in common with their, when you're an extreme person, it's something in your identity. Anyway, it's very good if you care about the rating. It's not so good if you care about unity, about achdut, and about the truth. So, when I look at the Israeli society, you know what I discovered? It's Google. It's very easy. There's the largest group is never represented. Which group is the largest group? When you talk about the Jewish population in Israel, when you ask the people of Israel, please just define yourself. Are you Chiloni, secular, Masorti, traditional, Dati, religious, or Haredi, ultra-Orthodox? How do you define yourself? What's the largest group? Exactly. Masorti, 39%. Now, I'm not Masorti. I think halakha is holy, but what can I do? That's the truth. 39%. I never heard an interview with a Masorti. Hello, Moshe, you're a traditional Jew. What do you think? No, that's not interesting. Let's talk to these two. And when we even talk about U.S. jury, I'm not an expert. I'm here for 6 days. But I do think, excuse me, maybe I'm wrong. I'll love to hear your comments later, but I was used to what, again, the media showed me. You have Orthodox versus Reforms. That's like the situation here. Now, I just started asking people, and I found out, again, the largest group is completely different. They have no spokesman, no PR, no conferences. It's called the unaffiliated Jews, unaffiliated. They never paid a shul for years. Maybe the grandfather went some. They don't have tefillim for the man or the woman. None, nothing. And they're not represented. So again, when we talk about this conflict, which is a conflict, why are we ignoring them? So again, try to see reality I think in a deeper way. And it's easy to talk about politics and news. But I think the month of Elul, it's the right timing to do it in our personal life too, in our soul. I mean, we're not limited here to choosing this and this. We can really do new things during this new year that starts right now, within like a month. And again, choosing from new options, bringing ourselves to new places, finding new abilities and new midot and new deeds and new qualities within ourselves. This is also what we're all called upon to do during the month of Elul. That's the first word that is guiding us, toward Elul. The second word is less spiritual. Sorry. Achila, eating. Aleph, chet, lamed. Okay? Le'echol, to eat. Easy word. It appears, and I think it's a record. It appears 42 times in one parasha. Okay? That's the parsha of eating. 42 times. And of course, it's more than half of the times it is mentioned in Sefer Dvarim, the book of Dvarim, and there are tons, really, 42 examples. We won't discuss them all, but we see sometimes that Hashem is telling us how to eat. Okay, ve'achaltem sham in the temple, lifnei Hashem Elokechem. How can you eat in front of Hashem, with Hashem? Usmachtem bechol mishlach yedchem atem uvatechem. Yeah, you bring the whole family with you to Jerusalem in order to eat. You don't come there only to daven, to pray. You come there to eat. It's a holy event of eating, okay? That's just one example. One other example is we're not always hearing these commandments, and that they don't always tell us just to eat. Sometimes, don't eat something, okay? Lo tochlenu, leman itav lecha, okay? Do not eat it. For you will be doing what is right in the sight of the Lord, okay? Ki ta'aseh hayashar be'enei Hashem. And the symbol of Judaism is we say it in Hebrew, chazir. Sometimes people don't even mention the word, the swine, the pig. You don't eat this animal, okay? It's the symbol of Jewish eating, of what Jews do not eat. For thousands of years, it is also mentioned in our parasha with all the laws of kashrut. Personally, I spent the last 2 months really working hard in order to receive an American visa, okay? A lot of conditions, a lot of really interviews, immigration people in the embassy in Tel Aviv. Baruch Hashem, it's over. Can I talk about it, or they can come and take it back? I don't know. So I will not elaborate, but that was quite a process. That's what I did during the last 2 months, okay? Bringing documents. I think I brought documents from the kindergarten, really. They sent me to bring documents from when I was 3 years old. Now, really, seriously. And it was 700 pages. I can show you, 700 pages. Because it's a working visa here in the States. Baruch Hashem, I thank them, thank Hashem, thank the lawyers, we're done with it. But, listen to this. In order to have an Israeli visa, a visa to Eretz Israel, there are other conditions, fewer conditions, mainly, eat properly. That's the visa. If you want to enter the land of Israel, you should check your eating. Now, why? Why is it so important? 42 times, yeah? And after all these examples, I think we can, maybe the Rambam, the Maimonides, can help us with that. This is an example from, the Maimonides wrote Hayad HaChazaka. Yad in Hebrew, Yud is 10 and Dalet is 4. It's 14 books. The Rambam wrote about all the mitzvot, all the commandments. It's also called Mishneh Torah. And he gave a name, each book there has a name. And one of the books is named Sefer Kedusha. I'm sure in this beautiful, rich library we can find it somewhere here, but we'll just see the headline. So out of 14 books, one is called Sefer Kedusha. Why? What is holy in this book? Listen to this. He writes about forbidden intercourse and forbidden foods and ritual slaughter, which means hilchot shchita and ma'achalot asurot. So we have two subjects here. It's forbidden intercourse and forbidden foods, basically. How do you eat? And why is this holy? Why is this, the title is Sefer Kedusha, okay? Sefer, the book of holiness. And the Rambam himself explains in his own words. I brought it in Hebrew and in English too. לפי שבשני עניינים האלה קידשנו המקום והבדילנו מן האומות. Because through these two issues, Hashem has sanctified us and distinguished us from the nations. It's not only from the nations. I saw some of the commentators. It's also from even the animals. Neither the whale nor the dog can pray or go to Bet HaMikdash, go to the Holy Temple. They don't do it. But they do, both of them eat and procreate. Now, exactly for that reason, the Torah comes along and emphasizes that precisely in these two areas, we need to discover Tselem Elokim, the image of God. Exactly in these two things that they're all doing it. All the people in this world, and including the animals. So, how can you eat in a holy way? How can you do it? It's harder today, I think. Let's talk about, the food industry, okay? We do not eat what we need. We do not eat the quantity and the quality that we really, that our body really needs. I once worked for an advertising agency in Israel. In Israel, it's very famous. It's called Reuveni Pridan. I worked there only for a few months. It wasn't my mission, but I was there for a few months. And I want to tell you just one little secret, okay? Just one little secret from the huge food industry. Okay, you always see these ads, right? The cereals, cornflakes, with a beautiful picture, milk, strawberries, yummy. Now, it never works when I try it at home, okay? The pieces, the cereals, the cornflakes, it sinks, right? And dissolves. Have you ever seen something like this in your own kitchen? Never. I want to tell you, I was there in the studio when we took pictures just like this. Okay, it's not milk. Do you know what it is? Shampoo. Really? Conditioner. Really? So, we put it in the bowl, and then we stick the cornflakes. Of course it won't sink. It's not milk. Okay? בתיאבון. Now, what do you... מה מברכים על shampoo? I don't know. שהכל. I don't know. Anyway, that's just one little tiny example. It's a whole industry working very hard in order to make us, if you say yuck when you see it, or in translation to Hebrew, if you say ichs, okay, in Hebrew you say ichs, but it's also yuck and ichs, okay, but that yuck causes you to buy products, okay, as again, it's a very small example. I was just buying orange juice. Here, on my way, I asked for a small cup of squeezed orange juice, okay? I asked for a small cup. I got a huge cup. So I told the person, no, it's a mistake. I asked for a small one. He said, that's the small one. And then he pointed at two huge cups, and he said, no, that's the small. That's medium. That's large. I'm like, okay, that's the small cup. I should get used to the fact that everything here in America is huge. But what you see here is it's a very hard challenge we're all facing, okay? I can say maybe that in the past, our forefathers, the challenge they faced was they were sometimes hungry. I know my grandmother, she's a Holocaust survivor, she was really hungry for many times during her life. Baruch Hashem, I was never hungry. And if I was hungry, I just went and ate. I could choose, again, bchira, whatever I want to eat. I think no one here was really, really ever hungry. Now, that's a different type of test, it's a different type of challenge. We live in a society of abundance. We have everything. Now, what do? How can we sanctify our the way we eat? I'll just show you one. We have a lot of challenges in this field here in Israel. We went to shop a few days ago. Okay, my kids asked me, "Mommy, can we buy pizza?" Now they're so miserable. Jace just moved to a new country. They don't speak the language. Yes, of course you can have this pizza, but then they open it. That's chocolate pizza. Do you eat chocolate pizza here or just, okay. Then we went to one day, we took them to buy ice cream. Also, new challenges. And Baruch Hashem, we want to live in a rich, prosperous, great society. We do not want to experience hunger. But as I said, it's a new challenge. We went to buy ice cream. In Israel, you ask and they put the balls, in the cone. Here, new methods. Welcome to America. You pour, you let the child decide how much ice cream he wants. So he decides. And then you let him take the candies, of course. How can you go home without putting the candies there? And again, it's his decision. So these are my kids. And at the end, you go and check. That's the result. I'm sorry. Yeah, very healthy. 42 times ve'achalta in the parasha. And that's the result. You go and you check the weight. You pay. But you see, that's the ad. Show your love. That's the ad of the store. Of course, what love has to do with it? What's going on there? And don't worry, all toppings are parve except hot caramel sauce. Okay? So I was sitting there with the parsha, preparing this shiur, thinking, what is the challenge today? Everything is completely kosher. Don't worry, except for the caramel sauce. We'll take care of everything. But the essence of eating, how can we sanctify? How can we treat it in a different way? And when you really think about it seriously, let's just remind us all, that was the first test ever. The first time Hashem said the words vayetzaveh, okay, to command us, mitzvah. The first time was in paradise, Gan Eden, vayetzav Hashem Elokim al ha'adam lemor, mikol etz hagan, achol tochel. You can eat everything, but ume'etz hada'at tov vara lo tochal mimeno, כי ביום אוכלך ממנו מות, תמות. There are so many deep explanations, and we can see the metaphors here and what it symbolizes. But in the most simple level, at the simplest level, we see that the first test was, do not eat. And we all sinned. Okay, that was the first kashrus law ever. That was, OU, but that's whatever. Everything, that just don't touch etz hadat. And we touched it. And many commentators are saying that our mission, okay, in this world is to refine the act of eating, to eat properly, to treat the physical parts of our world in the right, holy way. And as I say, it's very hard. I think Shabbos can really help us out here, Shabbat. I remember the first Shabbos meal. I never experienced something like it. I was 15. I was invited to a Shomer Shabbos family in Israel, in the city of Beersheba, in the south. And I remember I was sitting there, and we were sitting, next to the table, and we were sitting, and I was like, okay, what's going on? What's the deal? I mean, and then it took me some time to understand that this is what's happening now. We're eating and talking, and this is the event. We're not eating in order to go somewhere, to go to a concert, to a show, to a club. This is the event. It's a new format of eating. Now, it's not only on Shabbos. What's the holiest night in the year? You have Yom Kippur when we don't eat anything at all, but prime time, night in the Jewish year, Leil HaSeder. Now, what do we do there? We gather the family in order to eat in a holy way. Now, think of it. The redemption, the exile, all the story of, going out from Egypt. We can have a panel and really discuss it with experts, professors, bring rabbanim, bring philosophers, poets, and discuss cherut, okay? Discuss liberty. We're not doing it. Every year, we do not talk about values, we eat values, okay? We do not speak about freedom, we drink freedom. And we don't philosophize, about the exodus from Egypt. We sing it with pieces of matzot and drops of wine, and all kinds of traditional foods. And that's a really good way of, again, eating in the right way. And I collect a lot of stories of what we call in Hebrew mesirut nefesh, devotion, heroism. I have a lot of stories about Jews nowadays, not historical things during 500 years ago. There are still people walking here, talking with us. You can still hear from them heroic stories. And when you just seek and search, you find treasures. In Israel, I went to a speech therapist called Dora Uchikovsky. You can listen. It's a Russian name. And we spent a few months together. She tried to help me. You'll see during the year if she helped. But we were talking, and last year, before I flew here, we said goodbye. And I said, Dora, tell me something about your Aliyah story. When did you make Aliyah? What's your story? I understand you come from Russia, okay? You have an accent, but what's your story? And Dora told me the most fascinating story. I thought it's just a regular Ola Chadasha from Russia, okay? What's so special about her? We have 1 million like this in Israel, okay? And she started telling me about her childhood, about her father and her mother. She was born in Kiev. Everything was not allowed, okay? And basically, a lot of details, but when it comes to food, she said, the main experience she remembers, okay, was, of course, concerns Pesach. Matzot, the KGB knew that the Jews are eating matzot during Pesach, so they were really aware that time of the year. So what they did, she said you would be sent to jail if they found a matzah in your house. So what they did, it's in January, okay, 4 months earlier, she said we, the kids, would listen for a certain tapping on the window. And it was very exciting. She said we would wait every night. And then a man from the underground movement would come, and they would tap, and they would bring matzot it was in a, pillow cover, and they gave my mother the matzot, and she would hide them for 4 months in the clothes closet until Saturday night, until Leil HaSeder. Now she made Aliyah, she's here, everything is free, and she can buy 20 different types of matzot in the supermarket, okay? What's the taste when you buy it or as a free person, and what's the taste of the matzah after you keep it, hide it from the neighbors for 4 months? And I was listening to her. It happened 2 weeks ago in Jerusalem. And I'm like, wow, okay, where's Dora? And where are we with our ice cream and the kids and the chocolate pizza and the parve topping something? And as I said, I think our challenge is also very hard. Don't underestimate what we are facing today. I saw Rabbi Sachs wrote on this issue of eating in the Parsha. He said, the real test of a nation is not if it can survive a crisis, but if it can survive the lack of a crisis. Can it stay strong during times of ease and plenty, power and prestige? And I would add ice cream, okay? Can we stay strong and still have devotion, adherence, enthusiasm, devotion, mesirut nefesh? All these words, they do not belong to the past. They're really relevant now here on Broadway Avenue. We do have in our generation a great mitzvah, we only nowadays can eat in the land of Israel. If we talk about eating, we can't ignore, the parasha also emphasizes the importance of mitzvot hatluyot ba'aretz, okay? Commandments that are, they depend on the land. They are only, you only do them when you are inside Eretz Israel. And I read that the reason Moshe Rabbeinu wanted to really enter, to really be in the land of Israel, it was not in order to just have a nice trip and, selfies from Eretz Israel. No, it was in order to eat from the fruit after fulfilling all these mitzvot that, all the mitzvot that are tluyot ba'aretz. So, today we do have, again, the zchut of eating, from the Israeli agriculture. I don't know if you have it here, oranges from Eretz Israel. Can you buy it here, or maybe it's rare? I'd love to know where. But we do have something very significant in our generation when it comes to achila. Now, briefly, let's look at the last guiding words of the parasha, which these words are simcha in Hebrew. Simcha, it means to liot sameach, to be happy, joy, and evyon, which means someone who is poor. And let's look at the statistics. The word evyon is mentioned 6 times out of 7 in the book of Dvarim, 61 times in the entire Tanakh, and the word simcha is mentioned 6 times in the parasha out of 10 times in Sefer Dvarim. So we see again these 2 words appear again and again, and they are combined. There is some connection. We see them together. There's another general category, or we can call it a word family. In Hebrew we say mishpachat milim, a word family, and we see it again and again, and it all has to do with simcha, and those who are lack of something, they need something. Maaser, given 10% to tzedakah, appears 5 times out of 7 in our parasha. Nedava, tzedakah, charity, 7 times. Yatom, an orphan, 3 times in the parasha. Almana, a widow, 3 times. Ger, someone who converted, a convert, 4 times. And Levi, 7 times. These are groups in our society that they all need us, they all need our help. And the revolutionary concept here is that while we will help them, we will reach simcha, we will bring simcha to them, we'll bring them happiness and joy, and we will feel happier. Now, how come, what's this magic, okay? I thought, if I want to be happy, I'll buy something, I'll have a better car, a better career, I'll be with my kids, with my family, I'll take care, of my business. And what, again, Moshe Rabbeinu is telling us here, and these are the last minutes before we enter the land of Israel, okay? Last minute instructions is, if you really want to be sameach, if you really want to be happy, you should check what's going on with those who are in need. Now you see a lot of examples. For example, usmachtem lifnei Hashem Elokechem, atem uvnechem uvnotechem ve'avdechem ve'amaotchem ve'alevi asher b'sha'arechem ki en lo. Because he doesn't have, he has no territory with your, and lo chelek v'nachala among you. And once again, you go and eat. By the way, eating is also part of the package here. You go and eat, but how do you become sameach? Only if you take ata uvincha uvitcha ve'avdecha ve'amatecha ve'alevi asher b'sharecha. Rak az v'samachta. Only then do you feel joy. And again, the Levi comes with the ger and the yatom and the almana, and they eat with you. And then v'samachta, and once again, v'samachta lifnei Hashem, you and your daughter and all these people. And once again, if you want to be happy during the holiday of Sukkot, and v'haita ach sameach, okay, and you shall have nothing but joy, you should take these people into your party. And Rashi is giving us really, I would say, the recipe for joy. Levi, ger, yatom, ve'almana. Okay, we have the Levi, the stranger, the convert, the fatherless, the orphan, and the widow. These 4 are mine. What a sentence. Arba'a sheli. Okay, corresponding to the 4 that are yours. Who are yours? Ben shelcha, bat shelcha, your son, your daughter, and the people that work for you, the manservant and the maid servant. If you gladden mine, I will gladden yours. אם אתה משמח את שלי, אני משמח את שלך. So simple. I have 4 like VIP, you know, in Hebrew we say acham, אישיות חשובה מאוד. In English, VIP, very important person. In Hebrew and in English, Hashem is telling us, these are my achams, these are my VIP people, these are mine, okay? They're connected to me, they're closer to me. If you make them happy, I will make yours, your people, happy. That's a beautiful equation. Rashi is, asking us is offering us in order to feel happier. On my way here recently, I decided I had 12 hours flight from Ben Gurion Airport to JFK, so I had a lot of time to check thousands of emails. I really recommend you all. The month of Elul is a good time, really. It's Ben Adam Lechavero, to check your email. I got thousands of emails that I never answered, I never wrote back. So I was looking at them and taking care of things, you know. I also think if you bring joy to your email, I will bring joy to you. Really. It's an equation. Check it. So while I was on the air, you know, during the flight, I saw this ad that was sent to me. It's in Hebrew, but you'll get the concept here. And again, I was like deleting thousands of mails from recent years, and I saw that there's seriously a company that is, it's called Like Me, and they offer you to buy followers and likes. Now, I always knew there is an industry of but I never saw it with my own eyes. You can get 10 followers plus 500 likes for 3 pictures you choose. Only 72 shekels if you want. And you can get 10,000 followers plus 500 likes for 10 pictures that you choose on Instagram for just, it's less than 400 shekels. You're more than, it's really, really cheap if you want to buy likes. Now, I thought to myself, what society, what's going on in our society if we buy happiness, we buy self-esteem? How do you feel when you look, you see your Instagram and you say, psh, I got 1,000 likes. No, you just bought them. I mean, what's going on here? But I think, again, that the answer in our parasha is don't go there. For true joy, for true satisfaction, okay, for true meaning, that's not the direction. You will bring joy to the VIP club of Hashem, and He will automatically, you will automatically experience more joy yourself in your personal life. I would like to summarize the journey we did. We just talked about 3 words in the parsha. If you all want to follow, that's how you can get all the content and all the links to the shiurim here in the States in Hebrew and in English. That's how you can all follow, but I don't buy likes. I ask them. I ask people to for likes. But I do want to summarize and really wish us all. We spoke about 3 messages. How to make the right choices and how to expand the possibilities for choosing that we, things we have yet to dream, to imagine. And the Parsha really tells us, choose the right things and be open to see new options of bchirot. Secondly, I want to wish us all to eat what we need to eat, and that we really, this year in America, that's a challenge. My grandmother keeps calling me, in America, what's going on there with the food. Take care of the kids. So really, we have a Jewish culture of eating, and I hope we will all really fulfill this hard mission. And nowadays, in our generation, without hunger and, crises. And, of course, I wish us all a lot of joy, a lot of happiness, a lot of real simcha. And the path, the way to get there is by helping those who are in need. Thank you very much for joining me in the first year in America. Thank you very much. Toda rabba, and good luck. You're more than welcome to come next week. We're here, Stern College, Manhattan, next Wednesday. Toda rabba. Thank you.